So I first want to talk about natural catastrophes. I'll start off by talking about the one that was probably the most talked about insurance event for many, many years. Last year, but it only had that status probably for a couple of weeks, because then we had a subsequent event which I'll talk about just now. So that hailstorm cost the industry about R1 billion. Now, it's quite difficult for us as an industry, and it's something that we are looking to address at IISA in terms of collating claims information across the industry so we can get more accurate detail. So that cost about R1 billion. That hailstorm was 4 o'clock on a Saturday afternoon. And that happened at 4 o'clock on a Friday afternoon in the same location. You could easily double that quantum. So for most of us as insurers, when we do our catastrophe modelling, we look at that rush hour on a Friday afternoon, the N1 between Johannesburg and Victoria, and this is the kind of incident that we predict or we model against. And I guess most talked about event, and there might be some sensitive viewers here if your house is one of these. I do apologise. I don't know how many of you have seen this clip. Is there anyone in the audience here who lost a house in France today? Okay, thankfully. Now, you might say, what's this doing with natural catastrophes? So the origin of this event wasn't a bribe, by the way. That was the first news report that came out that somebody got a bit carried away with a Sunday afternoon bribe. It was in fact an electrical fault. And the reason I put this under the category of natural catastrophe is, ordinarily something like this might have led to just one event, one house burning down. But the wind combined to make this an event which cost the industry probably in the region of about 500 million rand, so R500 million. So two events that I've just shown you, and probably the first event was probably you could count in minutes. This event you could count in hours. That cost the industry 1.5 billion. So what you're going to have is, as people migrate towards cities and as we get greater urbanization across Africa, we're going to get accumulation of values. So when you start to look at the number of events and the incidence of events, obviously you're going to expect that that's going to start to increase in terms of the quantum of losses. This is quite a disturbing picture actually if you look at it, because this shows the quantum of natural catastrophes. The previous one was the number of events. And what you'll see in these little blue blocks over here, that's the insured element. The rest, the green element, is the uninsured element. So that just underscores that, in Africa, South Africa to some extent, but more so in Africa, the element of underpenetration of insurance is a major issue. So if I move then to the man-made fires, and what you see here, this is catastrophic events, and this sort of squiggly line over here are the natural catastrophes, and the bars are the man-made events. So clearly in our past history, we as human beings have been more guilty of causing loss and damage than the elements. However, over that period, it was the reverse. Now that might just be that that year was a pretty benign year in terms of events, or it could be a trend going forward that we're going to see with global warming, an increase in terms of natural catastrophes. But I guess, so I'll share with you some of our numbers because we're announcing results in a couple of hours, so I won't give the rand values, but just as a percentage. So these are claims over 5 million rand, fire-related claims over 5 million rand. So between 2011 and 2012, that almost doubled for us. Okay, and that's in number of incidents. If I look at the value, an 87% increase in value over the prior year. And so the problem you have, and the mismatch you have, is that your pricing is based on the 2010 and 2011 years, which were fairly benign years. And then you have the 2012 pricing year, or the 2012 claims year. So clearly there's a major mismatch in terms of your pricing, and I think we all understand what the implications of that is going to be. So what response can we expect? So yes, the market is going to harden. Okay, and I will keep saying that. The market is going to harden. If the market doesn't harden as an industry, we are stupid. Okay, because the market has been extremely soft for a long time, and we've had significant losses last year. We need to recoup those somewhere. There's going to be a greater focus on the quality of risk through more regular surveys. So again, these are some of the examples I've shared with you in terms of poor housekeeping, poor risk management, lack of focus, lack of alignment. There will be greater focus from insurers in terms of what's happening in terms of clients managing their risks, and therefore better risk selection.